Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader training room for Tuesday, June the 6th, or June the 10th, June the 10th, 2025. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trade your own charts. Results presented here are hypothetical. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. All right. This is our only session today, so we'll do away with the risk disclosure. Like Russell is flat. Crude is in a short. Second trade of the day, we basically took a full loss on the first trade. Down 46. YM is also flat. Soybeans has a get-in sink long. Unleaded is in a short, or I'm sorry, in a long. Short was too early, so the long is the first trade of the day. Pound Aussie got in sync with this 8 o'clock short, 802.12, long. It's one of those mornings. We have a stop and reverse set up here, but that adjusts to 707, and looks like we got as low as 707.2, so we are actually still long on that trade. We'll have to track it manually, but getting up toward this swing high. That swing was 7259, and looks like we just got there. Or two. Oh no, okay, we missed it by almost a full pip. At 259, we got up to 251, so we're eight pips away, or 8 ticks away from that swing. Money management at 728, and there is this then. Okay, swing up to 28, so just 1 tick from the swing high. YM into a get in sync short, and there's market open. So YM, take a look at it. YM may be in this short. Nope, too fast. So it's a get in sync at the moment. There's the entry there. So we are in the short on the YM. $35 tick target 1, so definitely big enough. Nothing yet on the micro Russell. All right. YM is in the short. We have a short on, we're in the short on crude, in the long on the pound Aussie, and in the long on unleaded. Soybeans still getting sink on the long trade. Nothing on the micro Russell yet. Catapult micro Russell. Spotlight for pound Aussie, unleaded, crude, and YM. Counterpunch for soybeans. And there is a long trade setup. Triggers in on micro Russell. That's a sizable, it's got a wick on it. Is it big enough to? Yeah, target 2 is 3.8, so we'll move our first gold target to target 2 rather than target 3. Target 1 is plenty big for, it's 24 ticks, so exceeds our 14 tick minimum. Likely we'll start, we will start trailing before we get to target 1. We'll meet our 14 tick minimum certainly before, obviously 10 ticks below target 1. And 70% of target 1, going to be pretty close to that. All right. YM short stops out for a full loss. And the micro Russell trade stops and reverses. $56.2. So our money management is going to be 4 ticks below target 1. That'll be 54.8. We did get there. Looks like. And target 3 for the gold. And we have a short trade set up on soybeans. That did touch the entry. 10-second bar. Maybe you're in that, maybe you're not. Probably still a get in sync. Never did get back up to the long entries. Unleaded reversing the short. And break even on the micro Russell trade. A new short on the YM. After taking a 86 tick loss, 43 tick risk on that trade, prior trade. Crude with a stop and reverse long set up. That's going to be at 58. Unleaded stop and reverse is 19, so that's going to go 14 for the stop and reverse. I think that's probably where we were. Yeah, that's essentially that's a full stop out. Looks like we got the money management on the nose, and so that comes back and stops out for just a 1 tick break even at 13. Crude still in the short, definitely, and money management on YM didn't pick up target, but we get a break even stop out, or not. We get a few ticks on the trailer actually. So that's a partial win. Entry at 807. So we get 12 ticks on that. Down 74. Pound Aussie is still long. And the short does cancel because it did hit the stop. Hit the unadjusted entry, then went back up and hit the stop. Went closed above the stop, so that's definitely canceled. So still long on Pound Aussie. And we stop and reverse to long on crude. Micro Russell with a long trade. Two loss rule actually should have us stopping on the exit point on the long. I'll follow it through. But power quitting rules are two losses on that trade plan. So shouldn't actually be in this trade. Well, 2 ticks. I think we did not hit. Yeah, that's going to be in 59.5, and we're 1 tick shy of money management on this Micro Russell trade. So still full risk on. Soybeans, I would say that we were getting sync on this trade, but I am going to push that up a tick because we've got 2 swings right at the entry. Push it up to 60 flat. So we have a situation where you've got long and short setups there. So full loss on Micro Russell, that's 2. Now a short setup at 55.4. We've got to go down 3 on this one. So it'll be at 54 flat. Crude getting very close to money management. If this were stop and reverse on soybeans, a true stop and reverse, actually it is a valid stop and reverse because the trend mode is, in this, yeah. If you're getting sync, this trade is going to stay valid. If you're stop and reverse, it should be at 60.25, and it will, as things stand right now, if this bar closes down, the reversal will at least come off the table for the time being. It'll be filtered out again, or it will be filtered out by the trend mode. But it's going to take a down close bar to do it. Micro Russell hits the stop but hasn't hit the entry, so the trade is still valid. Crude picks up target 1. So we are trailing at, our entry was at 58, so 59 is right there. Yeah. Not a trade we're actually in, but so we'll follow it anyway. Now, Micro Russell is still valid, and there's the entry. We'll have to track it manually, but we just hit the entry on a valid trade, because hitting the stop first does not invalidate the trade. Only if we hit the entry and then the stop will the trade be canceled. Still long in the pound Aussie. The stop and reverse adjustment kept us in the long trade. Down 46, was that right? Yeah, 23 tick risk. We pick up 15. So we're down 31. We did get the down close on soybeans. So anyone that was in that trade already, in the short trade, that stop and reverse then cancel, or doesn't cancel, but it's filtered for the moment. It can come back if the trend mode goes back blue, trend mode indicator. But if you're not already in the short, that is still a valid long. Taking heat on the micro Russell. This stops out. This will be our third loss, and that'll end that. And there it is. Full stop out on micro Russell. 3 losses ends the session. Caught up in noise, so I'll move unleaded up there. Long trade on the YM. Didn't trigger, but we have a trade set up there. $31 tick target. Down 74, was it? Yeah, down 74. All right, yeah, we've had activity on micro EQ, so let's go back and take a look at that. 4 minutes after market open. That's, make sure this wasn't yeah, that's not quite there yet. Yeah, that one was too early. So this one is lost. Then we go into a long that looks like a win. Yeah, that's going to be a winner. Target 2 and getting enough to start trailing. So right at target 1 for the trailer. Short setup. It does trigger in. That hits money management at target 1 for money management. Looks like quickly down to it, but we had plenty of time to get in it. It was multiple bars, so my lines won't lock in where I wanted it to. It's pretty close. Looks like we took some heat on that anyway. That's close. And that's a break even. So we have a loss, win, break even. Second loss. And we are currently in a long trade for trade number 5. And there is money management for that trade. And looks like we hit target 2. So we pick up 15 and 25, 40 ticks. We're down 6. We need another trade. Need our third trade in the next 7 minutes for the 9 a.m. mini session. Pound Aussie still in the long trade. We do pick up the. 1 second, let me take this. I will be right back. All right, so we're in short. Yeah. So short is trade number 5, right? Let's see. No, trade number 5 was the second break even. Trade number 6 is the short. Soybeans is long. Either a stop and reverse or just a 1 tick adjusted long entry. But you notice that the trade came back because the trend indicator turned blue again because the calculator thought it was in this short. And that was, I'm assuming that was too fast. It executed, just touching the entry. But if you did take the stop, end up with a stop and reverse on that trade, would have been 57 1/4 to 60 1/4. So 12 pips, or we need to be down 12 points. All right, we have 2 losses, a win. Two break evens. Final trade is at least a break even on the micro NQ. YM long, meandering about, but still long. Pound Aussie is long. Unleaded is flat. Crude has completed this trade We're still down 6 ticks. So we need another trade. So watching where things go. Micro NQ testing the 200 EMA. Pound Aussie tested the 20 SMA. Looks like it's coming down to test the 50 again. 50 and the 20, or now the 20 coming into play. So both 50 and the 20 hopefully providing us some support there. YM trying to push up through all 3 moving averages. It's above the 20 now. And well, it was above the 20. Looks like being rejected. Yeah, it still hasn't been rejected, but right in amongst all 3 moving averages. And our 6th trade on the micro NQ is a break even. 3 break evens, 1 win with 2 losses. So it's going to be a slightly down session. So unleaded will come back down here. So catapult on our micro Russell and micro NQ charts and not doing well this morning. Soybeans getting within 1 tick of target 1. That's a 6 tick minimum. With the adjustment, we're actually going to go, and we go to 21.5 or 21.75, depending on how you entered this trade. And so first goal is target 2. Any way you slice it, we would have been either 60 flat or 60.25. So money management is a minimum of 6 ticks from the entry point. IM is long. Still in the long. Push through the EMAs, but then the moving averages now comes back to them. Crude pushing upward. Almost to $66 for the session high. It's 5 cents away. Now back below the moving averages on the YM. There's a new long setup on the pound Aussie, but we're still in our original long. That was a get in sync. I am kind of going on a really good size oscillation there around the moving averages. Oh, I'm sorry. That would have been the third trade on crude, but we actually should have stopped after our two losses. And that trade certainly would have mitigated those losses somewhat. That one was 46 tick loss. This one was 38 to 58. Another 20, 40 ticks. So down 86, so we're down 46. Trade 3 would have offset the second loss, but not the first. And we are in our 10 o'clock session. So looking for a new trade on the 10 a.m. crude session. We have a full loss and a break even trade on unleaded. The loss was 116 ticks, 58 tick risk. We pick up 2 ticks. 19 stop should have been at 18. Yeah, stop is at 18. So we pick up 2, down to 114. Well, we've got 4 trades to go to get back to it. Crude still continuing to push up. And we get money management on soybeans, so our stop will come to 60 and a quarter or 60 and a half, depending on your entry. I'm going to track 60 and a quarter. Pound Aussie seems to be bouncing along the 20 SMA. Crude looking for a trade, unleaded looking for a trade. $62.25 for target. Two positions coming off there. That would be 9 ticks for the straight chart level adjusted long trade. Be 8 ticks for stop and reverse times 2 positions for both of them. Not much change at this point. No change. Pound Aussie showing us some zebra stripes. Now we have an excursion below the moving averages. Target 2 on soybeans. 4 or 4.5 points depending on your entry. With the two positions still in play. Stop and reverse would be down 8 points still. Target 3 worth 12 or 13 ticks. $12 for the stop and reverse traders, 13 for straight long traders. For straight long traders, this is going to be a one and done session. Still working to get positive on the stop and reverse. After the stop and reverse. I am back up around the entry. Crude slowing down a bit. Crude still flat, unleaded flat. Long trades on the YM and soybeans. Micro Russell and Micro NQ were done, and long in the pound Aussie. So 3 long trades in process. Two charts are flat. Or 2 charts are waiting for trades. The through chart is still showing in a long trade. And we've got our 2 fixed targets out of that. And it looks like it may stop out. Soybean sets a new session high by a tick. Crude does stop out. So now crude chart is flat. We're looking for a trade in the 10 a.m. session, mini session. Slow morning. Not much going on. Short setup on crude. That did touch the entry. So far, I'll treat that as a get in sync. Tested the 250 EMA and bounced. Soybeans stops out at break even. Picking up 2 more ticks. So down 7 or 7.5 points, depending on your entry. Or actually, down 7.5. Yeah, you're not. Yes, you hit the straight long trade. Picked up 4.5 points, 4.5, 5 points total. So that's a one and done. Stop and reverse picks up 4.5 out of 12, so you're down 7.5. Pound Aussie probed below the 50 and 20 and now is pushing up higher again. Another short setup that triggers in. Looks like that's a fairly small trade. 12 pip money management is up almost to target 3 on that. Looks like 735. Target 1 is actually our money management at 728. YM hitting money management finally. Seems like I remember that was 31 tick target. Yeah. At 824, we've gotten as high as 22, so we need 2 more ticks. All right, crude takes a full stop out at 97 and transitions to long on a stop and reverse. And ends up being a 1 tick stop and reverse adjustment. $28 ticks, it down 56. All right, crude stopping, reversing. Pound Aussie still in the long. Unleaded with the long trade. Unleaded now getting into the act. YM picks up a 31 tick target and a few ticks on the trailer. So from 74 with the target, we're down 43. And I'll have to look at how much we got on the trailer. Unleaded down 114. That's not bad. That's where I want that. So let's see. We go from entry at 793 to trailing stop at 799. So we get nothing. Another 6 ticks. $74, 43, 30, down 37. Unleaded long now as well. So we have pound Aussie long, starting from the bottom left. Pound Aussie long, unleaded long. Soybeans is done by where I expect it to be. It was one and done. If you're in the there is a new long if we're working with the stop and reverse. That triggers in. This is going to be a good sized trade too. Yeah, 12, 19, 26 for the targets. And I am going to have to leave it with you this morning at that point, because I am going to have to head off to another appointment. In just a minute, getting something set up here. All right. That's about, ooh. Now we're taking some heat on pound Aussie, but we're still well in the long trade. We're back in the original trade with our stop down here at 697. But that's probably going to have to leave it today. We'll see everybody tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Everybody have a good one.